Get it on and popping. It's good to see your boy
yellow.
Don Ellis back in the ring, man. Red rocking yellow though. Hold on. Called party foul on the drip.
Red rocking yellow. Don Ellis rocking the watermelon. I love the green and the pink combo. Looking sharp. And this is probably our most colorful matchup of anyone so far, right? We've been commenting on the fits. Everyone likes to wear a lot of white, black, and red, but these guys coming in, shining out and looking flashy.
I love to see it. Let me go ahead and switch up to this yellow real quick. The canary yellow, aka that Tweety bird. I appreciate the bravery, I would say, to do something other than black and white and
Absolutely.
red. It's hard to. There's some good color combinations. But as we lock in right now, it's been a long time since we've seen the man Don Ellis in the ring here, especially on an exhibition fight. We've seen Red a couple of times. He's had some good bouts. He's had some challenging bouts. Let's see what happens here with Don Ellis and how he adjusts to this V4 action.
He's looking like he is rocked early, but this should be a really interesting match because these fighters are super evenly matched up. Both 5'11" orthodox fighters from NA East. Don Ellis sitting at an 1892 and Red just 8 points higher at a 1900. So this should be a very even matchup. And so far, I think that is coming true. Both fighters also kind of similar in their style, right? Really like to slug in that orthodox boxing style. And they're just really trying to find, they're both fighters who like to really, hit those big shots. But they're not. Oh, no. Don Ellis getting a frozen. All right, he is okay, though.
Oh.
Looks like he's coming back, and this fight was looking smooth. They're both NA East. And if we have two ping issues in NA East to NA East, that is not a good sign.
Not a good sign at all, bro. We got to call the developers for an early meeting and be like, hey, somebody fix this before the damage system. Because we can't see... We can't see what the damage system can do if we can't see him throw the hands. Some good shots throwing back and forth, though. Don Ellis, even before V4, was not one to throw a lot of volume. So I don't think he's going to be in danger of really kind of triggering that anti-spam system. But he still has to be careful because open shots still do damage.
Yeah, I think he should be pretty good. Now, the one thing that I would worry about, right, is he has this walk down, slug it down style, and that forward motion will get you punished if you're walking into punches. Yeah. And you can see he's caught the ugly face a few times, Red being really sharp with his jabs and straights anytime Don Ellis opens his head up.
Now, Red, I like what I'm seeing from Red. I mean, a lot of good movement. Going to the side, getting out, circling around, staying more active, and peppering Don Ellis when he can. Good shots coming in that first round, and I'd have to give it to Red.
Yeah, and I love the little shoulder bump that they went through to each other at the end of that round, but both fighters showing each other a lot of respect and a lot of toughness. Very close match so far, but I would give that first round to Red. I think he... as well as staying a little bit more active defensively.
Yeah, 100%. Red takes that one in my book as well.
All right, and just getting to check some messages. All right, is everything okay in the chat? Let me check my FRF mod.
Got a little bit of discourse in the chat. We'll iron it out. Get him, Solly.
All right.
All right, round number 2 underway as we get on to this pugilist match in virtual reality. Don Ellis in the pink trunks, Red in the canary yellow. Don Ellis with them watermelon gloves too. Gotta love the fit. And right now, a little bit of a change of pace and change of strategy as these two titans slug it out, going blow for blow in the virtual arena.
Yeah, and this is just, again, a tough match. And I like that Don Ellis's adjustment was just, I'm going to hit tougher at this point. But it looks like it's been effective. He's caught Red a few times with some really sharp hits. But Red still doing what he was doing in round 1. And once he gets that timing, he hits really clean counters, right? He's not not trying to take your head off with them, but he knows he's going to rock you, and he's going to get points for those.
Yeah, Don Ellis with the taunt, trying to get Red in there to make a mistake, but Red locking in. Red looking really good, man, and I like the backwards move, and again, mitigating a lot of damage from that forward assault from Don Ellis. Don Ellis feeling a little one-dimensional here, I'm not going to lie. He's constantly coming in straight down that line, and Red right now is just picking him apart with shot after shot after shot.
Yeah, like Don Ellis is landing some really good shots in there, and I think, might this be V3? He might be getting, one of those might result in a knockdown, but Red is not running into those punches, right? Don Ellis, when he is hitting them, is usually finding a really good opening, but on Red's defense or exit. Ooh. Oh, and there again, the second that guard drops, Red catching him very clean. I do like what I'm seeing, though, with Don Ellis and the way that he's using the peekaboo guard, right? We were talking about this together, that the peekaboo guard is going to be a very effective tool in V4, and I think it's definitely been keeping him upright.
It's only effective if you keep those hands up, though, and Don Ellis only puts that guard up for a little bit, and every time he drops it, like we said earlier, Red tags him right there on the chin or on the nose. So the guard is only effective if you use it, and right now I don't see him using it a lot.
And chat's going wild with the screenshots, really capturing the highlights here. I think really the one thing that I would recommend to Don Ellis, right, I think he's got to work more of a jab. He's really just coming in with big power shots or even medium power shots, but Red is getting the most out of those just light, low energy, just tap him on the face, get a little bit of points, and disrupt his flow.
And cumulative damage, people are used to fighting in points. When they think the low energy, just hit the guy, get the gloves on his body, go for a good look. This game doesn't care about points. It cares about damage over 20 per shot. And as long as those big shots rain down like that, what a beautiful knockdown by Red. I hope we have our resident photographers catching that one, because that was textbook beautiful. As long as you're landing shots over 20 damage, they stick and it's cumulative. So that's how you want to think about scoring quote-unquote points in this game. Not everything has to be a knockout or a knockdown. As long as you can stick it to their body, you know what I'm saying, it's going to definitely rack up and count towards your damage in the final card.
Absolutely. And so now what do you do at this point as Don Ellis to try to come back into this fight? Like I was saying earlier, you got to work the jab more, but it feels like at this point with that knockdown, just jabbing is not going to be enough.
I mean, just jabbing is never enough, right? You have to mix the jab in with other things. He's got good power shots, so right now, if he wants to land them, he has to use that jab to set it up, right? He's standing still, he's moving forward, it's very one-dimensional, and Red sees right through it, right? And you're playing right into his hands. Red is going to continue to circle around. He's going to continue to expect just that from you. So you got to mix it up. You got to shake it up.
Couldn't agree more. What would you do as Red at this
Nothing.
point? You just stick with what you're doing, or do you think that you're...
Nothing, bro. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Red has been playing an absolute beautiful game today. And I tell everybody, if the knockdowns are going to come to you, they're going to come to you. Red has not been throwing a bunch of shots with trying to knock you out kind of power. He's just been working on racking up consistent shots, consistent counter hits, and beating down on Don Ellis. And that has already put him up ahead in the first round for me. It gave him the knockdown in the second round, definitive win for him there, and this time he just has to keep up with what he's doing, because if there's no adjustments from the other side, there's no really need for you to adjust. Keep working it, bro.
Yeah, smart words at this point. Don Ellis catching Red, but not enough. Red being really defensively responsible this whole match, and anytime he hits one of those big Don Ellis shots, he backs right out, and he's like, I don't need to get caught by a second one of those.
Yeah, bro, the era of the V3 Gravedigger Mike Tyson damage is over, man. And now you have to really become a bit more complex in how you approach the game offensively. Don does throw good shots, right? But at the same time, we don't see a lot of shots to the body, so we're not mixing up highs and lows. Therefore, your defender does not have to do anything but keep his hands in his face, right, and move around. Don are going for the uppercut into the cross, landing right there, but at the same time, one little shot here and there, not going to do it if you're not coming in with the jab. And there we go, starting to dig to the body there a little bit now, as Don Ellis begins to mix it up late in the third round.
Yeah, and he's going to need a lot at this point to get Red down. He's been landing, again, good individual shots, and his offense is really good, right? His punch placement is good. He comes in at good angles, but Red is too defensively responsible to get caught by multiple shots like that, right? He's just been backing out. His footwork has been impeccable this whole match, and he's really using his room space to his advantage.
Yeah, this is a maybe if we're in a couple more rounds, Don Ellis could find the adjustment, but the adjustments that would have been made should have been made early in the second round to avoid that knockdown. But here we go, 40 seconds left roughly in the third round. We've got Don Ellis fighting with a lot of heart and a lot of grit, but Red staying sharp, staying focused, staying loose, and getting a lot of bang for his buck out of this play style.
Yeah, and I think really what this is, because these fighters have been pretty even, but it has just been Red being a little bit better and more responsible, and I think using his controls to his advantage, right? Don Ellis has the stick motion, and that can be an advantage or it can be a disadvantage depending on how you play it.
A little bit of a sign of respect there. Don Ellis, oh no respect. He tried to trick him, and Red not falling for it, man. Red's like, come on, man. Trying to get the old flim flam.
All love in the end, though. This is just VR.
Red from the red corner.
Red taking the win. Announcer even calling his name.
right. Let's take a look at the scorecard, and it's staggering 30-25 on that one. Perfect scores on the SAT for Red in the red corner. Looking at the knockdowns, a single knockdown decisively in the second round was the one that kind of put a big nail in the coffin for the gravedigger Don Ellis. Looking at that damage, and again, that second round, so definitive. Also the highest scoring round for your boy Red. Red keeping up some good damage. I mean, Don Ellis, respectable damage himself, 2467. Not damage to sneeze at in the slightest, but it's all about shot placement, timing, and if you look at it back to back, Don Ellis wasn't even trailing too far back in that third round, landing a lot more, but to the winner today, Red with a staggering 33-24. Let's hear back from the homies in the chat real quick. Who's up first?
Yo.
Hey, Don Ellis, welcome back.
Yo, bro, I got a question to ask you, man. It's been a while. I have not seen you fight on V4, so this might be a little bit of a late kind of question for you, but how are you feeling about this V4 damage though, man? Like, I know you used to be known for like big hits, big power. You still putting up big damage, man, but how does it feel?
I feel like, honestly, I just need to practice on V4.
You said what now?
A couple things. I said I just feel like I just need to practice on V4.
Word. Yeah, that's a good attitude to have, man. Like, a lot of people do come in and, they feel the nerf initially. But I think that just some small adjustments, man, in V4 would do you really good, especially with knowing how heavy counters are and how damaging walking into an opponent is. Those are some things I would definitely say, like, keep in mind as far as, like, defensively. Offensively, man, you got to just switch up where you put those big shots at. Hit them when they're extending, hit them when they're coming in.
Only thing I really can say is my weakness. He kind of fight like me.
Yeah, it was an even matchup, bro. Y'all were going at it. I'm not gonna lie. But look, it's always great to see you back here in the ring, man. Show up back here anytime. Looking forward to see you, man. Maybe near next week, as you get used to V4 and as you start getting that practice in. Let's go ahead and talk to Red. Red, where you at?
One thing before I go.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
I need you to set that fight up with Money B. I need my rematch.
Bro, I've been looking for Money B. I ain't seen him, bro.
Yeah, he been gone.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of things have shaken up since V4, man. A lot of the regulars, I haven't really seen them around quite often. I hope they come back. You know, I don't know if it's the game. I don't know if it's personal life stuff. But, you know, I would love to set that match up for real, for real.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
All right, bro. Red, where you at, bro?
Hello?
Yeah, Red with the winner, with the dub. How you feeling about that today, bro?
You know, I just went out there to have some fun, and I did exactly that. It was a really fun match.
Now you've been here in V4 for a little bit. We've seen you a couple of times on the channel. I would say that this was one of your more dominant performances, man. You look good. The shot selection was there. You look like you were able to find where you wanted to punch a lot. You also look like you were loose, man. So what has anything changed, if anything, or was it just going out there to having fun that was the secret?
So I have been practicing a little bit more on V4, and I have been noticing that you can just like counter punch, and that's kind of what I did. I backed up because his hooks were kind of scary, so I just waited for him to open up for me. That's really like, yeah, just what I did.
Yeah,
just waited for it.
That it works, dude. Especially that knockdown in the second round. We got to talk about that. How did you feel? That, because it was a beautiful right. I'm not gonna lie. It just dropped him dead cold. It looked like a movie. Yeah, and you had to have been feeling good after that.
Yeah, I really wasn't I just threw it like last second just to see if I could hit it, and it did. He was like throwing heavy at me because it was right at the end again.
Yeah.
So I just waited for him to open up once again, and I threw the right, and it landed.
Well, man, big congratulations on the W. I hope you continue improving in V4. Continue searching for every new